let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. And you can also tweet at Smooth981. We're streaming the show live up on our YouTube channel as well. Just search for Smooth981 and catch the live stream. Good morning, Rotus. Happy back to work Monday.
Good morning, Zibby. Yes, happy back to work Monday. New month, new week, new everything. So, get it on. It's fourth month of the year.
Everything positive. The year does seem to be racing by really quickly for some reason. All right, so we're talking about the NSIA's profit slide in 2022. Now, before we actually get to that, in oil news, OPEC made a surprise announcement yesterday, Rotus. What was it, and how did oil prices react to this announcement?
Yeah, OPEC Plus, which is Saudi Arabia, then non-OPEC members like Russia and so on, they announced a cut to production of 1.2 million barrels per day. It was announced yesterday. They said they want to support prices, oil prices, that is. It was a surprise because the last time they met, they said that they wouldn't be making any changes to output. So this came a bit as a surprise. As far as oil prices reacting, I think it jumped like $5 a barrel. Brent crude is trading at like $84 a barrel. When the announcement was made, I think it is still above 80 as we speak. So it was a surprise announcement from but yeah, it's 83 right now, 83.76. So oil prices are still up about 4, almost 5% since the announcement was made. So yeah, that's the announcement just came from OPEC Plus yesterday.
All right. So will this OPEC Plus news benefit Nigeria?
Well, theoretically it should, in terms of supporting prices, as in, prices, with oil prices rising, that benefits what we sell. The only issue is that oil theft has been impacting our oil revenues for quite a while. So you've got aging infrastructure, you've got the theft issues. So it should help us, by bringing in more money. But in the long term, I don't know how this will benefit the global economy, because there's a whole issue with a slowdown being projected. If the global economy slows, then people are just going to use less oil anyway, less energy. So we'll have to see how things work out. But theoretically, it should help Nigeria.
All right. Well, let's go on to the NSIA. What is the NSIA?
Yeah, so the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority is it manages our sovereign wealth fund, and basically it was mandated by the NSIA Act, which was signed into law, I think May of 2011, which allows the NSIA to manage funds on behalf of the federal government and the states. So it's in excess of what is budgeted above the oil price, any extra funds that we get. So you budget, $55, $57, $60 a barrel in your budget. If oil comes in, so oil now is 84, 85. Anything above your budgeted oil benchmark, the extra money, NSIA is supposed to invest that on behalf of the nation. So they're like a fund manager. If you go and give your money to somebody who invests it in stocks, bonds, treasury bills on your behalf, that's exactly what the NSIA does for the country.
All right. A bit of a flashback now. How did the NSIA perform in 2022?
Yeah, so they released their results on, I think it was on Thursday or Friday. Wasn't very good. The profits fell by about 33% to 1 point. What was it now? What was the figure? 102 billion naira. That was their profit for the year. 102 billion naira. So that fell by 33%. Total assets is what I was looking at. That was down 15%, a little over a trillion naira. As far as the income that they brought in, income from investments and everything else, 114 billion, that was down by 28%. So it was a double-digit drop across the board in performance for the NSIA.
So has the NSIA given any reason for the performance from last year?
Well, let me read their statements. It reads like all the other statements that have been put out when it comes to the headwinds that's 2022 was facing. So they say the 2022 fiscal year was marked by unprecedented shocks such as COVID-19 lockdown in China, Russia-Ukraine conflict, food and energy crises, supply chain disruptions, soaring inflation, monetary policy tightening, and so this impacted the global financial markets and basically impacted the money that they invested. You would have to benchmark that against other sovereign wealth funds, see how they did and see. But generally, the global markets were pretty tough in 2022. So that's the reason why they didn't perform that well.
All right. Well, let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 444 0981. You can also tweet at Smooth981 and catch the live stream up on our YouTube channel, Smooth981, and you can even post a comment on the live stream as well. So, Rotus, let's talk about importance of data accuracy. Now, we understand Dr. Yemi Kale was at a forum in Lagos where he stressed the need for accurate data to aid government planning. What was the gist of what it was he said?
Yeah, so he's the former head of he's the former head of the Bureau of Statistics. He was the statistician general and CEO of the Bureau of Statistics for about 10 years, I think from 2011 to 2021. And so he was in charge of data for the nation in terms of GDP, inflation, and all these other things. So he was at a forum. He's now the chief economist and partner at KPMG, and he was at a forum saying that, look, data is important in order to aid government planning. That was pretty much the gist of what he said. If you're going to make policy decisions, you must look at the data and say, okay, what does the data say if I make this decision to go this way? What does the data say if I make the decision to go that way? How does the data inform policies that will impact the people of the nation? So that's essentially what he was stressing at this forum.
Okay. What would you say Nigeria's planning has been driven by data? Would you say that planning in Nigeria is driven by data?
No, I don't think so. Not well. I mean, in certain respects, and maybe not others. When the decision was made to close the borders, in order to stop, was it weapons smuggling or what was it? Way back in was it 2019 or was it 18? That's or it was 21.
Smuggling, yeah.
Yeah, that affected our inflation. Inflation started rocketing, when that happened. The decision to keep fuel subsidies, is that supported by data? I wouldn't argue that it is when you think about all the data that points to the fact that it's a tax cut for wealthy people. Even the Naira redesign, was that in the end, when you look at what did we benefit from that? If anyone had sat down and said, okay, what does the data say about the amount of cash that is used in the economy, the amount of mobile money transactions? If we do this redesign and restrict cash, what is the impact? So I think Nigeria still has a lot of work to do in terms of using accurate data to shape its policies. Also, if you look at, trying to eradicate poverty and so on and so forth, that's a question that I don't think the government has answered yet in terms of doing it proper.
Right. Okay, let's go on to WhatsApp. This message from Benga. He says some governments, accurate data to aid government planning. In Nigeria, the powers and principalities in the country won't allow it. It's that loophole of data deficiency that has made so many millionaires. Some government policies are decided on a whim and not supported by any rational thinking. Interests rule Nigeria. And so May 29th, new administration coming in. How important is data to this incoming administration?
Yes, it's going to be very important. So, I mean, there's so many decisions that need to be made going forward, especially for the incoming administration. Data is what drives the manifestos of the people that run for office. As far as the economy is concerned, when they talk about all the things that they want to do, security, I think, is number one for the incoming Tinubu administration, where it says that it wants to address insecurity. So you've got to use data to know exactly, how many touch points there are across the nation that need to be addressed by security. Any economic policy that he wants to put forward is going to be very important. So when you come to Nigerians and say, this is why we are doing this. Okay, the reason why is the data says this. So as a result of the data saying this is what is going to inform this policy. So it's going to be very, very important, Zibby. And it's supposed to at least let us know where the government's head is at in terms of policy direction. Because if data is saying something completely opposite to what you are trying to do, or you plan to do, then you're just going to send the country down the wrong path. So it remains to be seen, but that statement from Dr. Yemi Kali, very, very important. And we'll see whether our policy heads, which also is very important to see the people that he appoints, if those policy heads will, do the right thing, like Spike. So.
All right, Adiola says, OPEC Plus manipulates oil prices and the capitalist wants us to believe in a market economy. And Benga says, the coming census is another opportunity to correct data deficiency. We will all see how it will be handled, well or in the usual manner.
A very good point. That census is going to be big if it is done accurately. So we're waiting to see that. Are we really 200 million? Are we over 200? Are we under? What's the population of the different states? Working population, so much. Yeah, there's a whole lot to get from that population census. So we are waiting the outcome. I think it's May. I think they moved it to next month. So yeah, so we probably won't get the results until a month or two after while they collate all that data. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, that is all the time that we have for Business Express this morning. Thanks for listening and thank you for sending your messages in. Thanks, Rotus, and have a brilliant day ahead. That's all.
You too.
Business Express. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.
Brought to you by InterSwitch, our transaction solutions you can depend on.